You do not fail because you move slowly. You fail when you stop moving and begin making a philosophy out of standing still. Slow movement, when it is faithful, still belongs to progress. A small step taken under difficulty is greater than a grand intention carried only in speech. A man may advance by inches and still reach a place that the impatient man never reaches, because the impatient man often abandons the road when speed does not flatter his pride. Do not despise slow progress. Despise surrender. There are seasons in every worthy life when movement becomes heavy. The mind is tired. The road seems long. The evidence is small. The reward delays. The body asks for rest. The heart asks for assurance. And the world gives little encouragement. In such a season, the great command is not always to run. It is not always to conquer the whole distance in one dramatic effort. Sometimes the command is simply this: keep moving. Move as slowly as needed, but never stop moving. This principle may save a man from ruin. Many people fail not because they lack strength for the entire journey, but because they demanded strength for the entire journey all at once. They looked at the mountain and became discouraged because they could not leap to the summit. They forgot that mountains are climbed by steps, and that a slow climber who continues is nearer the top each evening than the dreamer who remains below, imagining faster ways. The mind often makes the future too heavy by trying to carry it all in 1 hour. Do not carry the whole road today. Carry the next step. A definite purpose must be large enough to inspire you, but the daily duty must be small enough to obey. If the aim is great, let it be great. Do not reduce the dream merely because today's strength is limited. Reduce only the step. Make it definite. Make it possible. Make it honest. Then take it. This is not weakness. It is strategy. A wise commander does not exhaust his army on the first march. He studies the distance, the weather, the provisions, and the strength of his men. He moves according to reality, not vanity. He understands that survival of the campaign matters more than display on the first day. You must become commander of your own campaign. Do not let pride decide the pace. Pride says, if I cannot move quickly, I will not move at all. Pride says, if others are ahead, my small step is worthless. Pride says, if the result is not impressive, the effort does not count. These are lies that dress themselves in ambition. A small step in the right direction counts. A slow day that preserves the habit counts. A humble effort made under discouragement counts. A duty completed when enthusiasm is absent counts. Life is built by what is repeated, not only by what is dramatic. The man who keeps the chain unbroken holds a secret advantage. He may not always produce much in a single day, but he preserves identity. He continues to see himself as one who moves. This matters more than many understand. Once a man begins seeing himself as one who stops whenever conditions become hard, stopping becomes easier. But when he sees himself as one who always takes some step, even a small one, movement becomes part of his character. Character is formed in the smallest agreements with yourself. If you promise to study and cannot study for 3 hours, study for 1. If 1 is too much under the day's burden, study for 15 honest minutes. If you promise to save and cannot save a large amount, save something. If you promise to build strength and cannot perform the full discipline, perform the portion you can do without deceit. If you promise to write, build, practice, pray, plan, or correct, do not abandon the whole because the whole feels heavy. Do the reduced thing, but do it. There is great power in refusing complete surrender. The mind learns that difficulty may reduce the pace, but it cannot cancel the direction. This produces resilience. It tells the inner life, I may be delayed, but I am not defeated. I may be tired, but I am not abandoning. I may be slow, but I am still under command. Such a statement, lived daily, becomes strength. As I spoke of persistence as a necessary quality for achievement, but persistence is not always loud. It is not always heroic in appearance. Sometimes persistence looks like a tired man opening his book for a few more pages. Sometimes it looks like a worker returning to the task after disappointment. Sometimes it looks like a person facing the same weakness again, not with self-hatred, but with renewed discipline. Persistence may be quiet, but quiet persistence can outlast loud enthusiasm. Enthusiasm is easy at the beginning. The idea is fresh. The imagination is bright. The reward seems near. A man begins with strength because the beginning flatters him. But after the road becomes ordinary, after repetition appears, after delays arrive, after criticism speaks, the excitement begins to fade. Then the man discovers whether he has a desire or merely a mood. A mood cannot carry a life. A definite purpose can. Purpose must learn to walk when emotion will not run. That is why slow movement is honorable. It keeps purpose alive during the days when emotion provides little help. It says, I will not wait to feel powerful before doing what belongs to my aim. This is one of the marks of a mature mind. The immature mind demands favorable feeling before action. The mature mind acts according to chosen direction. It respects feeling, but does not enthrone it. It may pause when rest is wise, but it does not drift into neglect. It may slow down when the burden is heavy, but it does not turn slowing down into quitting. There is a difference between rest and surrender. Rest restores movement. Surrender excuses stillness. Learn the difference. If the body is truly worn, rest with purpose. Do not rest as a fugitive from responsibility. Rest as a steward of strength. The farmer who rests after labor does not betray the field. He prepares to return to it. The craftsman who sharpens his tool does not abandon the work. He preserves the power to continue. But beware of rest that becomes escape. Beware of the comfort that asks for one more day and then another until the road is no longer visible. Beware of the soft excuse that says, I will begin again when I feel ready. Readiness may not return to the man who has trained himself to wait for it. Sometimes readiness is created by returning before you feel ready. Begin again while the feeling is imperfect. The first movement may be awkward. Take it anyway. The first page may be difficult. Read it anyway. The first account may be unpleasant. Face it anyway. The first hour back at honest work may feel heavy because delay has made resistance strong. Do it anyway. Motion weakens resistance. Stillness strengthens it. A task avoided becomes larger in the imagination. A task begun becomes more manageable. This is one reason you must never stop completely. Once stillness becomes habit, the mind begins building arguments to protect it. It says the road is too long, the chance is past, the strength is gone, the time is wrong, and the effort would no longer matter. Do not give stillness time to become a lawyer. Move before it argues too well. Even the smallest action can break the spell. A single honest step reminds the mind that command still exists. It may not finish the work, but it reopens the road. It tells discouragement that it has not won ownership. This is why daily movement matters. Not every day will produce visible achievement, but every day can preserve direction. A day may be difficult, crowded, or heavy with duty, yet you can still do something that says, my purpose lives. That something may be small in size, but large in meaning. Write one page. Save one amount. Practice one skill. Correct one error. Make one useful contact. Complete one neglected duty. Review one plan. Take one step. This is how a life is kept from collapsing into drift. Do not laugh at one step. A man who takes one step daily is not where he was a year ago. A man who waits for a grand day may still be standing where he began. The world often honors great leaps, but it is steady steps that prepare the legs for them. Slow movement compounds. The trouble is that compounding is quiet. It does not always reward the first act. It does not always display immediate change. This silence discourages impatient men. They want proof before they have built enough cause. They want harvest before the field has taken root. Trust causes. If you keep planting, watering, guarding, and improving the field, the work is not wasted merely because the fruit is not yet visible. But if you abandon the field every time fruit delays, you will blame the soil for a harvest you did not remain to receive. Stay. Even if staying means moving slowly, staying does not mean refusing correction. If the method is poor, improve it. If the plan is weak, strengthen it. If the field is wrong, examine it honestly. But do not confuse correction with abandonment. A man may adjust his road and still continue toward the same purpose. He may change pace and still remain faithful. The aim must govern the adjustment. Fear must not. Many people stop moving because they mistake a difficult season for a final verdict. They meet resistance and conclude that life has denied them. But resistance is not denial. It may be training. It may be instruction. It may be a demand for more skill, more patience, more order, more humility, or more accurate thinking. Ask what the resistance is teaching. Then take the next step. Do not sit beside resistance and call it destiny. Resistance must be used. A slow season can teach things that a fast season cannot. It can teach endurance without applause. It can teach accuracy because haste is no longer ruling. It can teach humility because progress is not impressive enough to feed vanity. It can teach faith because the result must be believed before it is seen. Use the slow season. Do not despise it. The roots of a tree grow in darkness before the branches rise in the light. If the root could speak, it might wonder why all its labor remains unseen. Yet without that hidden labor, the tree would fall under the first strong wind. A man is the same. Hidden seasons build the root system of achievement. Private discipline, quiet study, small correction, repeated service, patient effort. These are roots. Let them grow. Some men want only visible success. They do not want root work. They want reward without the long, invisible obedience that makes reward safe. So when progress becomes slow and unseen, they quit. Later, they wonder why their lives lack strength. Do not be that man. Let the unseen work continue. There is dignity in moving slowly, when slow movement is all the day permits. A sick man who returns to discipline gradually is not weak. A discouraged man who performs one honest duty is not weak. A man rebuilding after loss, who takes one careful step toward order, is not weak. Weakness is not slowness. Weakness is surrender to slowness as an excuse for stillness. You must never use the difficulty of your pace as permission to abandon direction. If you cannot do much, do little. If you cannot lift much, lift something. If you cannot see far, move toward the light you have. If your confidence is small, let obedience be your confidence until feeling returns. The road does not ask you to feel victorious before you walk. It asks you to walk. And as you walk, strength often arrives that standing still would never have given. The courage comes after the first motion. The clarity comes after the first attempt. The confidence comes after the first completed duty. The plan becomes clearer after reality has been touched. Movement reveals. Stillness imagines. This is why you must not wait for all answers before beginning again. Some answers are hidden inside action. They cannot be discovered by thought alone. The plan improves when used. The skill improves when practiced. The will improves when tested. Begin. Then learn. Then continue. The man who moves slowly but steadily begins to discover another power. He becomes harder to discourage. The world can delay him, but not easily stop him. Criticism may wound him, but it does not command him. Fatigue may slow him, but it does not erase his purpose. Failure may instruct him, but it does not define him. Such a man becomes dangerous to defeat, because defeat expects him to stop. He does not stop. He studies, adjusts, rests if necessary, and moves again. That is the spirit you must cultivate. Not frantic effort, not prideful speed, not comparison with those who appear farther ahead. Calm, faithful, intelligent movement. A pace that reality can support. A direction that purpose can defend. A habit of continuance that circumstances cannot easily break. This is the beginning of real persistence. And once a man accepts that slow progress is still progress, he must next learn how to protect that progress from the forces that make men stop altogether. Shame over small beginnings, comparison with faster travelers, fear of delayed results, and the false belief that if he cannot move greatly today, he should not move at all. And that false belief has buried many worthy aims before they had time to gather strength. A man looks at the distance between where he stands and where he wishes to be, and because he cannot cross it quickly, he refuses to cross it slowly. He sees the labor required, the years that may be needed, the discipline that must be repeated, and he becomes ashamed of the small step available to him. Then he does nothing and calls it realism. That is not realism. It is surrender disguised as judgment. The small step may not satisfy pride, but it may save destiny. The small step may not impress the crowd, but it may preserve the habit of movement. The small step may not change the whole condition in a day, but it keeps the man from becoming one who waits, wishes, complains, and decays in stillness. Do not despise the humble beginning. Every strong road begins under the foot, not in the distance. You may dream of the far country, but you can only walk the ground that is nearest. If that ground is plain, walk it. If it is difficult, walk it. If it is narrow, walk it. If it is slow, walk it. The road does not become shorter because you refuse the first mile. Move. The shame of small beginnings often comes from comparison. You see another man moving with greater speed. You see his results, his confidence, his apparent ease, and suddenly your honest pace feels inadequate. You begin judging your seed by another man's harvest. You compare your foundation with his finished house. You compare your first march with his victory parade. This is confusion. You do not know the years behind his speed. You do not know the discipline hidden beneath his result. You do not know the cost, the help, the timing, the failures, the burdens, or the price he paid when no one noticed. And even if you knew, his road is not your road. Comparison becomes poison when it makes you abandon your duty. Use another man's progress only as evidence that progress is possible. Study principle, not appearance. Did he persist? Did he prepare? Did he specialize? Did he keep faith with one purpose? Did he correct failure instead of stopping? Take the principle and return to your own step. Do not borrow another man's pace. A borrowed pace may break you. Some men are moving faster because they have trained longer. Some because their road is lighter. Some because they have paid a price you have not yet seen. Some appear to be moving fast, but are actually moving toward ruin. You cannot judge all this from the outside. Your duty is not to move as fast as another man. Your duty is to move faithfully according to truth, strength, and purpose. There are days when faithful movement means great exertion. There are days when it means a single completed duty. Wisdom knows the difference. Pride does not. Pride wants every day to appear strong. It wants every act to feel impressive. It would rather do nothing than do something small. Reject pride. Choose progress. If the goal is worthy, then any honest step toward it has dignity. A page studied has dignity. A debt reduced has dignity. A habit resisted has dignity. A plan reviewed has dignity. A weakness faced has dignity. A promise kept when no one applauds has dignity. Dignity belongs to obedience, not size. The world may not see the step, but your character sees it. Your subconscious mind sees it. The future sees it through consequence. Each small act tells the inner life, we are still going forward. That statement may be the difference between eventual victory and permanent drift. Never allow one difficult day to become the beginning of complete abandonment. This is where many people lose themselves. They miss one day, then condemn themselves. They fall behind, then decide the whole effort is ruined. They break the rhythm once, then use guilt as an excuse to remain broken. Do not turn one interruption into surrender. Return quickly. The speed of return matters more than the fact that you stumbled. A man who stumbles and rises immediately has not become a drifter. A man who stumbles and builds a home where he fell has surrendered his road. Rise. If yesterday was poor, do not carry yesterday as a chain. Let it instruct you. Ask why it happened. Was the plan too vague? Was the step too large? Was the hour unprotected? Was the body exhausted? Was temptation near because the conditions were poorly arranged? Correct the cause, then move again. Guilt that does not lead to correction is wasted suffering. Correction is the proper use of regret. A slow traveler must become skilled at beginning again without drama. No grand announcement. No long punishment. No heavy speech against himself. Only command. I have fallen behind, and now I return. That is enough. Then act. The road respects return. Life often gives more credit to the man who returns faithfully than to the man who never had difficulty. There is strength built in returning. It proves the purpose is deeper than mood. It proves the man is no longer governed by the perfection of his record. He is governed by direction. Perfection is not required for progress. Continuance is required. If you demand a flawless journey, you may stop at the first flaw. But if you accept that the road may contain weak days, hard seasons, delays, corrections, and rest, then you can continue without worshiping failure. Do not make weakness a throne. Acknowledge it, correct it. Lose. Fear of delayed results is another force that stops men completely. They begin a discipline, but because reward does not appear quickly, they doubt the discipline. They study for a short season and ask why mastery has not come. They save for a short season and ask why freedom has not arrived. They serve with care for a short season and ask why recognition is absent. They are planting seed and demanding shade. Understand seasons. The first season of movement may produce only evidence of movement. That is still valuable. You are building the habit. You are proving obedience. You are learning the road. You are discovering where the plan is weak. You are training the mind to expect continuation. These are early rewards. They may not look like the final harvest, but they are necessary to it. Do not abandon the cause because the effect is not yet visible. At the same time, do not move blindly. Slow progress must still be intelligent progress. If months pass and nothing improves, not your skill, not your judgment, not your discipline, not your value, not your clarity, then do not merely continue in the same manner and call it persistence. Examine the method. Persistence must be married to accurate thinking. A man moving slowly in the right direction is wise. A man moving slowly in the wrong direction is still lost. Therefore, review your course. Are you learning from each step? Are you improving the plan? Are you measuring the result? Are you seeking proper counsel? Are you correcting what experience reveals? Slow movement is noble when it is alive. It is dangerous when it is merely a repeated mistake. Do not confuse patience with passivity. Patience works while it waits. Passivity waits without work. Patience studies, practices, corrects, saves, builds, serves, and remains faithful, while time completes what effort alone cannot finish. Passivity hopes, delays, excuses, and drifts. Make sure your patience has tools in its hands. If you are moving slowly because the burden is heavy, keep moving. If you are moving slowly because you are avoiding effort, tell the truth. The same pace may have two different causes. One is wisdom, the other is fear. Ask yourself honestly, am I moving slowly because this is the proper pace for endurance, or because I'm withholding the effort I know belongs to the task? Honesty will answer if you allow it. If the answer is that you are withholding effort, do not condemn yourself. Increase the effort. If the answer is that the pace is proper, do not shame yourself. Protect the pace and continue. Shame can be as destructive as laziness. Some men stop because they are ashamed of not being farther. They become embarrassed by the fact that the work is still unfinished, the skill still developing, the debt still reducing, the body still recovering, the confidence still forming. So they hide from the road itself. This is foolish. Being unfinished is not disgrace. Refusing to continue is the danger. Every builder stands among unfinished walls before he stands inside the completed house. Every learner speaks imperfectly before skill becomes smooth. Every disciplined life passes through awkward beginnings before strength becomes natural. Let the unfinished state humble you, but do not let it silence you. Humility says, I still have work to do. Defeat says, because I still have work to do, I will stop. Choose humility. Humility can walk. Defeat sits down. There is also a danger in demanding that every step feel meaningful. Some necessary steps are plain. They do not stir the heart. They do not produce visible change. They simply keep the road open. The account recorded, the practice completed, the tool prepared, the page read, the promise kept, the small saving made, the body strengthened, the room ordered. These may feel ordinary, but they are not useless. Ordinary obedience builds extraordinary capacity. A life is not changed only in moments of intense emotion. It is changed in the common hours when a man does the necessary thing without applause and without drama. If you can master ordinary hours, you can master much. Most people lose the future in ordinary hours. They wait for grand seasons, but grand seasons are rare. The daily hour is always present. It is the field in which destiny is planted. Use it, even slowly. A slow step repeated in ordinary hours becomes a road. A road followed faithfully becomes a direction. A direction maintained long enough becomes a life. This is why you must protect continuity. Continuity creates identity. When you continue with a purpose, you become the person who does not abandon easily. When you continue with study, you become a learner. When you continue with discipline, you become self-commanded. When you continue with service, you become useful. When you continue with correction, you become wise. What you continue becomes what you are. Therefore, be careful what you continue. Do not continue complaint. Do not continue excuse. Do not continue delay. Do not continue comparison. Continue the work. Continue the correction. Continue the practice. Continue the duty. Continue the return. The slow road becomes dangerous only when a man fills it with the wrong repetitions. Repeat the causes that create the future you desire. This may require reducing the number of roads you travel. A man who is moving slowly in too many directions may be preserving motion while losing power. He may tell himself he is progressing because every aim receives a little attention. But a little attention spread too widely may never become force. If progress is slow, concentration becomes even more important. Choose the chief aim. Give it first claim. Let lesser aims wait, serve, or be dismissed. A man with limited strength must not spend that strength carelessly. When you cannot move quickly, you must move accurately. When energy is small, it must be placed where it matters most. When time is narrow, the hour must be protected from waste. Slow progress demands sharper selection. Ask what one action today would serve the chief aim best. Do that first if possible. If not first, then definitely. Do not allow the day to close without some tribute paid to the purpose. Even a small tribute preserves allegiance. This allegiance is what keeps the purpose alive during difficult seasons. It tells the mind, this still matters. It tells the future, I have not withdrawn. It tells fear, you may slow me, but you will not own me. Speak through action. The world does not need to hear the declaration. Your conduct must hear it. Each slow step is a declaration when taken under resistance. You may wonder whether such small movements truly matter. They do. Not because each one is large, but because each one prevents the death of the path. A path walked daily remains open. A path abandoned grows over with weeds. Later, the man who wishes to return must first fight through the overgrowth created by neglect. Keep the path open. Some days, keeping the path open is victory. Do not let pride demand more from a hard day than the day can honestly give. But do not let weakness give less than the day can honestly give. This balance requires self-knowledge.